Please welcome to the stage, HubSkip. From Amsterdam.
Okay. Hi, everyone. I'm Alex. I'm the founder of HubSkip. And this is Nick. Nick's a bartender from San Francisco that loves to travel. And a week ago, he booked his airline ticket for his next holiday through HubSkip. This morning, he got another email from HubSkip saying the following. Hi, Nick. Guess what? The airline ticket you bought last week just dropped in price. Here's a $40 refund to spend. So, pretty cool. Nick got a refund even after he made the booking for his ticket. So let me show you what Nick did. Nick went to HubSkip.com. He selected his nearest hub, in his case, San Francisco. He wanted to go somewhere romantic with good nightlife and great food. And he wants to leave on April 3rd for 2 weeks until April 17th. He's traveling with his girlfriend, Sarah, so there were 2 adults, and he hit search. He instantly sees all the destinations he could go to, including the lowest flight price available. He considers going to Rome, so he clicks on Rome, and gets some basic information on the city, and links to various travel guides for details. He also sees the flights that are available for him to book. So he wants to book a flight, goes to a super simple page where he's asked only for some basic passenger and contact details, and provides his credit card information. He goes to the review page where he confirms his information, and he gets a confirmation email from HubSkip. At this point, Nick is all done making his booking. But then, the week after that, Nick got this email I showed you in the beginning. Nick got the email saying he got a $40 refund. So how did we get him this refund? Basically, we analyze and register millions and millions of flight prices every single day. And using machine learning methods, we can predict when and by how much the price of his specific ticket is going to change. If we expect it to drop in the near future, we can delay buying the ticket from the airline, and only do so at a lower price point later. This increases the margin so much that besides just giving him a refund, we can even remove all service fees on all of our bookings and still have a considerable margin. Those are very big competitive advantages in a $350 billion market. Today, HubSkip.com launches in 6 hubs around the world, including San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, London, Paris, and Amsterdam. Each hub connects to a limited set of destinations initially, which will start increasing in the near future. In the next few weeks, we will launch the booking features so you can buy your ticket directly from HubSkip. In the next few months, we'll start rolling out our predictive technology further and release APIs to developers for direct access to our search, booking, and prediction engines.
No, it's not ours.
I suggest you go to HubSkip.com and try it out, and please let us know what you think. Thanks.
What if the prices go up in the meantime?
Yeah. Basically, we predict if the price will drop, and there is a chance that we're off. And the whole financial model is based on the fact that we guarantee you a seat on that plane. So if the price goes up, we take the risk, basically.
I mean, you could go bankrupt very easily if people take advantage of it. It's bad weather, an airfare war breaks out in reverse. I mean, whatever. There's so many outcomes here.
Yeah, but we use confidence levels with our prediction, and our financial models combined with the prediction models can give us some security in the decision we make.
I'll be honest. I sit through so many pitches, and I have certain words that when I hear them, I instantly go to sleep and start thinking about emailing Jason and asking for some whiskey on table here. And travel is one of them. When you say you're coming out with a travel service, my mind goes to sleep and you have to wake it up. And my mind never gotten woken up in this presentation. This is something that I'm an often frequent traveler. Only 20% of Americans have passports, so your market size goes down, and it didn't grab me this time.
Having been an investor and on the board of Faircast, which Microsoft bought, and was in the early game of price prediction on airline tickets, an investor in ITA software, Google bought. I don't go to sleep when I hear travel because I get excited. It's a massive category. However, the bar is exceptionally high.
There you go.
It's high for consumers. It's high to play in the space.
When you're in a crowded space, you have to have something mind-blowing. Faircast was mind-blowing, right, when I saw it.
The one thing I will say about this, so at both Faircast and ITA, we also thought about, isn't there a way to arbitrage all this price intelligence that we've built? And we ultimately concluded in both places that it was a fairly dangerous proposition, as somebody down at this end of the table said, because it's really hard to predict the dynamic impact on the price the revenue manager at the airline is going to set based upon your own game plan, right? So the more successful you get, the more impact you can have on markets movement. So I guess what I would say is I'm tantalized by the idea that I could arb a $300 billion market, but it would be a really high bar to give me the confidence to go take our $5 million of venture capital and to go roll the dice that we're going to be smarter than the revenue managers at the airlines, or that we have good enough price prediction that we're not going to get burnt doing it.
I understand.
Matt,
in our case, we did study the research that also was performed by Faircast and various other companies. And the way we do it, I didn't go into the deep technology, but the way we do it is quite different compared to it used to be done, especially because right now, only recently, we got access to certain data you couldn't get access to before, especially in '98. And the prices of the processing power you need to do it have massively dropped in the past few years. So, but we are quite different in the way we approach it compared to Faircast.
I think the UI was exceptionally clean, you know, and I'm happy to have a chat with you guys later. I'd be interested in what that data is.
We'll be at the demo.
Have you guys thought about a value proposition and a business model where, because it's so competitive, and it's probably the most, if not the most, one of the most competitive customer acquisition categories on the internet today would be travel, is that, so if you actually could keep a percentage of the savings, right? So you basically are watching my back and you're my partner, but you keep it's found money to me. So if you keep it, but if you could do that and you actually had a higher allowable customer acquisition cost as opposed to the incumbents, that might be a way for you to get, you know, legit traction.
Yeah, well, we do keep a fair portion of the savings.
Do?
Yeah.
I got it. Okay.
So it's not like you get back everything. We give you a nice amount back and we share it.
I mean, that's the intriguing thing here.
Right.
If they could develop a positive arbitrage,
then
they could really go gangbusters in terms of upstream.
No service fees plus chance on a refund. So.
If you looked at on a percentage basis to this arbitrage component, is that what percentage of pleasure trips, or let's say travel in general, is there this arbitrage element? Like if you thought of that as your total addressable market, this piece?
If you look at all the tickets we could potentially sell in the market, then depending on the city pair that you're flying, usually it's going to be between 3 and 10% of the seats that are sold that can use this price-saving, price prediction model. And then you're looking at 30 to 40 times higher margins than the traditional service fee margin a travel agent makes.
And how do you get to the distribution of those people? Because getting, you know, Faircast you sold it to Microsoft and it got on the search engine when I was searching for tickets. I don't understand how you're going to interrupt my buying behavior, whether it's on United.com or Priceline or whatever, to get into my mind that I'm going to try this new thing with my vacation dollars.
Yeah. Well, the thing is that we never ask service fees. We're the only ones that do that. We don't redirect you. We can process it all. So you never leave the page, you never get a redirect, and you never pay too much, which also results that you will probably pay less than at any of the other online travel agents, with the chance of getting something back. So,
how many people think I'm wrong here? Raise a hand. How many people want to try this?
Well, yeah,
there's your audience. Find them.
How many people want to try this? Raise your hand, because Robert doesn't know how to form a question. Okay, so once again, Robert Scoble's wrong.
There we go.
Pretty much the Robert Scoble rule of startups. Robert is generally wrong and will admit it, and he will be back here in 2 years and say, that was brilliant. And your whiskey's on the way. Thank you.
Robert, I thought you were a good guy.
What about
Said you're a
hotels?
good guy, you're a sweetheart, you're a puppy. What's going on, Robert?
He woke up with
I'm trying to be the hard ass on the panel.
Oh my
today.
God.
Change my image a little
Mark
bit, 'cause I'm
Cuban?
always a nice guy.
Mark Cuban or what? I mean,
I'll tell you what this business reminds me a little bit of Matt Coffin's original business when I met him, Lower My Bills. Before it was lead generation, it was send us your bills, we'll go negotiate on your behalf to get you know, a better price. I wonder if, you know, leaning into a little bit of what Matt tapped into, could I book a hotel room with you or a Southwest flight, and then you tell me, we've transferred you to Virgin, because it saved $50, and you were at the Marriott, which is 3 stars, and we're going to put you at the X hotel, which is equally good and within half a mile, and it's cheaper. Or we're about to, you have 1 hour to decide to get this upgrade at a lower price.
Yeah, well, if you look at flights only for now, then, for example, there are 2 flights leaving from Amsterdam to New York. One is KLM and one is Lufthansa. And at the moment, Lufthansa is more expensive when you buy it, so you buy KLM. But we predict Lufthansa to potentially drop. So what we even can do, we can use a prediction system for multiple airlines and multiple flights. So you can even switch in between and getting a cheaper flight from a different airline.
Yeah. See, I would love to be able to just have this as insurance against, like idiot insurance.
Yeah.
So I booked the flight to London, right, which is a very complex flight, and all these things happen for the next 6 weeks. If it could just be emailing me alerts, if you're willing to spend 2 hours in New York or lay over 1 day on a Saturday in New York, we're going to save you this amount of money. And my trigger is, I only care if it's saving me over 20%. Under 20% don't bother me, over 20% bother me. What do you think, Matt, with your original business?
I like it. The problem with Lower My Bills regarding this was it was really hard to get people to go to a fax machine or email us their bills. In this case, if they do the transaction, you've got it, right? So you're tapping into the database. I love that. To me, I think that, and travel, you've seen this numerous times, hey, price works, right?
Yeah.
And what is hard, I think, is the communication. There are a lot less people in America, the typical American, cares about price prediction and all that, right? That's like mumbo jumbo. What is important to people is, hey, if it goes down, do I get part of it? And it's cheaper for me to fly, great. And if so, I like it. We're a percentage of Americans.
The problem is you're always considering that the price could go down, but you're also considering that your seat could get lost on that trip that I need to take to London on this certain day to see a wedding of my family, right? And that's why people travel internationally a lot of times is a conference like a web conference or something, or a wedding or something else, and you have to be on that plane. And so there's a crossover there that it's not just about price, right?
There are a few important things to consider here. That's one, we don't just predict price, we also monitor availability. Once you've bought your ticket, we don't monitor on a daily basis, we monitor it multiple times every hour. Plus, if you would lose, under any condition, for example, your economy class ticket, which is the biggest market in this case, we could even still, which is again our loss, upgrade you to business or first, or try to get you on a similar flight from a different airline.
Why would I lose my I don't get that. Why would I lose my ticket?
In case the availability drops to 0.
Oh, you mean you haven't really consummated the purchase?
Correct.
No.
No, they have consummated the price.
Right, that's what I'm confused about.
No, basically, you make a booking for an airline ticket.
Yes.
You pay, we guarantee you a seat, we monitor the availability and the price, we try to buy it at a lower price point.
Right.
In a worst case scenario, your specific seat is no longer available.
The consumer is getting a call option effectively on that seat. They don't own the seat on the day.
So what happens if the price goes up to you?
Right.
Because like if I go to CES every year, the price goes up, it doesn't go down because there's more demand than there's seats. And so you would get, are you going to guarantee that I'm going to pay $400 to go to Vegas?
Yeah, if you pay $500 for a flight, and we predict it to go down to $400, but it doesn't, and it goes up to $550,
then you're
$50 is for us.
Got it.
Yeah, but that's why we use the confidence levels and monitor the availability.
Okay.
Okay, so we have to take it offline. This has been, I have to say, somebody was just mentioning on Twitter, what great interaction with the judges. You guys are really helping the entrepreneurs with this feedback. Let's hear it one more time.
Can I just make one comment?
Yes, you can.
I think this is the sort of product that, obviously we're debating different things, is that, hey, find 100 people that love it, right? Because most products like this, not everybody's going to like it. Some people will go, oh, price is less important to me, convenience is this or that, and reliability. But if you can find 100 people that are, hey, maybe they're the cheapest people in America, maybe they're this, maybe they're that, is that get those guys to really love it. And I think in this space, because it's so huge, you could have a good business.
I think they did in the audience.
Yeah. Okay.
So
once again, let's hear it for HubSkip. Okay.